see a lot of new booties out there in the audience that ain't never seen me perform before. Well, I want to let you know, I treat this mess serious, let me tell you. The other night I was doing my show, and there was this one guy that thought he was too good to laugh. I snuck up behind that fool and put that joke in a headlock so tight, he thought I was some kid in the Soldier Boy the way I cranked that. I told him, your ass owe me some giggles.
Anybody got some spare change? No? How about square? Let me bum one of them bad boys off you. Hey, tell me, what the hell are you people doing up in this joint? Huh? I miss my mama.
Uh-oh.
Attention security, please report to the stage. We got another nut job that wandered in through the kitchen.
What? I'm the entertainment.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, he helped me look for my brand new phone I just had bought for 3 or 4 minutes. Then he says, hey, sis, I got to go pick my old lady up. Now, if you've seen my show before, you know what time it is. Come on, say it with me. Family.
Hey, shit.
Hey.
If you see somebody at work backed into a corner looking side to side, looking sneaky and suspicious, let me tell you what you don't do. You don't bother them and you don't get too close. You mess around and get a whiff of that bad gas, end up in Amcare, pass out, and have to go home on sick leave. Let them fight them demons alone, baby.
I said, hey, don't do that. He turned around and looked at me. I said, that's raw sausage. Don't eat that. You can get sick. You know what he told me? Leave me alone. So I tells the manager I saw so-and-so eating raw meat. And you know what she told me? Leave him alone. I say that to say this. That's why I just be so happy just minding my own business. Y'all know what I'm saying?
It was break time, and he asked me, did I stow anything interesting today? I said, yeah, I stowed this new woman's toy. I said, guaranteed to drive you crazy. The box said, get comfortable with the mother-load pleasure mode. Then he says, well, what's the name of it? I said, I don't know. Then he says, what did it look like? And that's when I knew. Something just ain't right.
He said, did you hear about what happened to Kevon? I said, who? He said, Kevon. I said, the little short, fat, bow-legged, bald-headed manager with bad teeth? The guy said, yeah, him. I said, no, what happened? He looked side to side and then said they was going to fire him, but they made him go to a different building. I said, for real, why? He looked side to side again and said, because he was in here slanging dick like a motherfucker.
We was at work and he was in my area and he was just talking and talking and talking, going on and on. I said to myself, damn, if you want some pussy, why don't you just ask? Yeah.
And work is the new club. I saw this young man telling this one girl, you can't hang. You won't know what to do with this. She said, shit, and kicked her leg up and had her foot on her shoulder. Woo! I go to the bathroom 15 minutes later and I saw the security guards walking them out. I asked this one lady, what happened? She said, girl, they got caught doing the nasty.
Hey, ladies, you ever had a man sweet talking you? And his game is so smooth, he damn near talks you right up out of your clothes. But the more you let him talk, he winds up talking you right back into him. And you start to realize this dude ain't got it all. The crazy motherfucker done slipped up and said the last girl that cheated on, he busted all her car windows and cut all her tires.
And we was dancing and he got behind me and pressed up against me. I said to myself, no siree. It felt like the man had 2 Pringle cans stacked on top of each other with a pair of rear view mirror dice underneath. I must have ran off the dance floor. I said, hell motherfucker, nah. I'm not trying to have a hysterectomy. I'm talking about knocking the stuffing out your ass. No, not me. Look, I'm old school. Just give me a regular thing.
The jacket she had tied around her waist was cocked to the side, and some of that poop-ton gas escaped. It had everybody standing around, face wrinkled up like a motherfucker. People were saying, God damn!
I'm still trying to wrap my head on how this silly motherfucker got fired at my job the other day. So I walked into the break room a little early and it was cloudy as hell in there. I'm talking about he was in there smoking a blunt like he was Big Snoop Dogg in that bitch. I said, what are you doing? You can't smoke no weed at work. He said, fuck it, it's my birthday. 3 big security guards dragged his ass out.
You got to be careful with the people you work with. My grandson came home the other day, and I said, damn, you lose all your money at the poker game already? My grandson said, no, Grandma. I knocked on the door, and he came to the door with a wig and a red dress and high heels. I said, what? He said, the man said, get in here, you little devil, you.
I see my friend the other day and I said, what's wrong with your grandson, Jimmy? I saw him and he had white stuff all over him. She said, I think his evil girlfriend put the roots on him. That stuff you saw was toilet paper. He wets it and rubs it all over himself. She said, I call him Jimmy Snow. She said, he gets a crazy check. The government pays him $6,300 a month and I'm his caretaker. Woo!
I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm strapped up in this mug right now. There's a whole bunch of crazies out here. My friend said this motherfucker hopped in her back seat and said, I'm hungry. Take me to get something to eat. I'm gonna blow your brains out. She said, she told me, what do you have to taste for today? So I said, shit, I would have turned around and said, oh, did you want cheese on that? And hit him with this snub nose 38. I'm packing.
Flat out, I told my grandson, be careful with these girls with these really white teeth. I said, you'll be thinking maybe she got veneers, but she done got the whole top shot. I said, them bad boys mess around and come undone while you're having fun, and you can lose your hot dog. So about 6 months ago, I had gave the lady an old school remedy to tighten up that old boom box.
I must saw her the other day, she looked like she was about to pop. I said, I see that remedy work. She said she pregnant with triplets. I said, you couldn't back up off that thing, huh? She just started laughing and smiling. I was thinking to myself, damn, triplets, you gotta be
I promise I only went to Come Right Back Burgers for the #1 meal, but they tricked me again. I was in the drive-thru. They said, okay, the #1, what else? I looked at the menu and said, oh, I'll take 3 chocolate chip cookies. They said, what else? I said, is your shake machine on? They said, yes. I said, then I'll take a large chocolate shake. They said, what else?
I give it to my dog sitter. My girlfriend said, girl, why? I said, because she's a big woman. Don't get me wrong, she's very good with tiny Tinkerbell and light on her feet when she's tending to her. But she's too damn heavy for my furniture. She done created whole new pockets in my couch. I fell in one of those deep craters and it took me 30 minutes to climb out. Okay, this right here will save you from having to beat the brakes off somebody. Never stand too close to people who can't talk without moving their hands. Because when they accidentally bop you upside the head and you say, hey, they're going to say, what? What's wrong with you? You be like, mother, you just hit me. And they say, oh, my bad. You be mad as hell. They have you mumbling to yourself.
I said, yeah, he was insisting that I take a cookie or a cupcake that he baked. His friend said, you better be glad that you didn't take any. I said, yeah, why? He said, because for the 5+ years we've been working here, it has not been one time that I haven't seen him not scratching his nuts. I said, you gotta be kidding me. He said, dead ass. I'm talking about barehanded ball scratching. Y'all know I keep them grandma remedies. I told my girlfriend, I said, baby, rub a little vapor rub on the bottom of your feet, put some socks on, go to bed. She looked at me like I told her to lick a battery. Next morning, 7 a.m., my phone rang, and she like, girl, I can breathe. Yes, and I'm here to tell you, invest a little bit of time in your kid life. At least make sure them little motherfuckers know how to read. They ain't got to know how to spell. I seen this guy at work eating some food out of can with some crackers. I said, what you got there? He said, corned beef hash. I looked at the can and said, corned beef dog food. I just shook my damn head.
And people by nature just don't want you to change. You could have went on a diet and 25 to 30 pounds and you finally in control and you feel the best you felt in a long time. And then here comes a coworker and they say, are you okay? You say, yes. They say, are you sure? You say, oh yes, I'm great. Then they say, okay, just check it because you're looking skinny. You need to eat something.
I had told my brother, I said, a relationship is based on communication. He said, damn that, I'm the man, I wear the pants in this house. Later on, I went to visit him and I saw the paramedics wheeling him out the house. I said, what happened? He said, she hit me in the head with a brass giraffe. They say I need stitches.
Don't you hate when people be all tough and shit? The other day, my grandson accidentally butt called me. I heard him tell his friend in the car what he was going to do to this one dude if he catch him. His friend said, ooh, there you go. He about to go in the store. I heard my grandson say, boy, he lucky. His friend said, why? My grandson said, because I had to go get my grandma some medicine. Somebody in here got that skunkatosis breath. That skunkness coming up here on stage got my nose burning. I got me one. I knew it was your bad breath ass. I know your dad. He was a thumb lick at the blackjack table till he got 5 for that skunk breath he passed down to you. Skunk 2.0. Well, I met me a little something at the bingo hall. He's a good man. But I ain't had no action in over 20 years. I had forgot everything. I didn't know what to do. If I should use my hands, a mouth, spit, or swallow, or take them off, or slide them to the side.
I'm the coldest, oldest grandma rapper there is. Y'all check this out. Old Miss Mary Mac. She got a black gat. And if you talk smack, she gonna up and pop back at your hat, rack. Ladies, how many of you out there got a real man? Okay now, but I'm talking about a real man like your granddaddy. Because when I grew up, the carnivals had real life bears with boxing gloves and a muzzle on the side of a cage you could fight. You had to pay 50 cents, but if you won, you get $10 and a whole lot of pussy.
So I just moved into my new house. So I told the guys that was moving all my furniture and stuff that lunch was on me. I said, what do you guys want on your pizza? This one guy said, can you order 1 chicken and veggie pizza? Because I don't eat pork. Another guy said, I don't eat pork either. I said, okay, what do you want on your pizza? What type of meat? And he said, ham. I said, that pork.
Ladies, keep your man away from golfing. My man learned how to golf and I couldn't give him no loving. Then he messed around and taught me and I felt that sweet spot. He couldn't give me no loving. I didn't want it. I just wake up with golf on my mind.
I said to her, do you know any good fish joints? I'm new in town. She said, yeah, Pinky's. It's downtown under the bridge. I said, Pinky's, is it fresh fish? She said, really fresh. Tell them lady sent you. I said, you know I'm talking about real fish, don't you? She said, sure you are.
Oh shit, look, a goddamn alien. Call me. Woo!
Man, there is way too many rude people out there. This motherfucker came to my door and said he's a government census worker. How many people in my house? I said, okay, I'm a government census worker. How many people in your house?
I was in the grocery store doing my shopping, right? And I kept noticing this man holding a box of cereal, talking to everybody in the store. I ain't gonna lie, I did everything I could to avoid him. But when I was walking down the main aisle, he popped out the juice aisle holding that damn box of cereal. He said, do you have any spare change? I haven't eaten all day. And people got a lot of nerve. So this guy at my job asked me to let him borrow $20. I said, sir, I don't even know you. He said, you saw me before, which I did. He said, come on, I'm good for it. I've been working here for 3 years. I promise I'll pay you back on Friday. I said, so you want to borrow 20? And the man said, I really need 50.
Ain't too many rude people out there. This motherfucker came to my door and said he's a government census worker. How many people in my house? I said, okay, I'm a government census worker. How many people in your house? He said, you can go to jail for impersonating the census worker. I said, okay, you can go to jail for impersonating the census worker. He said, enjoy your day. I said, okay, enjoy your day.
My boss come telling me I'm due for a retrain. As he walked off, I said, retrain these nuts. He turned around and said, excuse me, what did you say? I said, dang, I'm getting hungry. I can't wait till lunch.
Lady Bird started singing when she seen this guy walking my way. I told her, cock blocking ass bitch, shut your ass up. She be counting on the guy saying, ooh, you can sing, huh? So I had to my grandbaby trick-or-treating, and he must have came back from this one house with the mustard face. I said, what's wrong? You thought you was gonna get some candy, didn't you? I said, what's wrong? You thought you was gonna get some candy, didn't you? He shook his head. I said, nope, her old ass has been giving out walnuts for years.